Hey everyone, it's your professional sarcastic man in seeker of attention, Chris here with a video about Black Hammer, a series you should definitely be reading. Not kidding, this is, Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer is it is a good series, and yes, even the birds that don't shut up agree with me, don't you, huh? Shut up! Okay, that worked. Anyway, on to Black Hammer. So the essential plot of Black Hammer is it revolves around a group of superheroes that were thrown out of their universe during a crisis and are stuck on a farm in a town that they cannot leave. There is a barrier, an invisible barrier that is preventing them from leaving. If they try to pass through the barrier, they will die. And they have spent 10 years living here, and it hasn't been a very good 10 years. For some it has, some have come to accept that this is their life now, there's probably no way of getting out. Some have been trying throughout the 10 years of ways to reach out back to their universe to see if anyone could help them, and there are some that are just completely just against the idea of settling down even after 10 years in this place, because they can't move on from their life. So first thing you got to notice is that a lot of these heroes they feel and look similar to some very iconic DC and Marvel superheroes. Essentially what Black Hammer is if Jeff Lemire was in charge of his own version of Amalgam of DC and Marvel. Like, for instance, Abraham Slam is supposed to be their version of Captain America, with a tiny little bit of Daredevil like origin sprinkled into it. He's obviously mainly supposed to be Captain America, and he's supposed to be the kind of the moral center, the leader of the group, because he is. Well, technically, he is one of the oldest, but he's the main one that's kind of accepted that they're stuck there. You have Marx, obviously supposed to be John Jones, Martian Manhunter, and then you have Golden Gale, which is supposed to be their version of Captain Marvel or Shazam, where she says a random word, it turns her into. It's a reverse of Captain Marvel. Instead of a little kid turning into an adult, it's an adult turning into a little kid. Although she gets her powers as a kid. As she gets older, whenever she turns into Golden Gale, it turns her into I think it was a 9-year-old. And because she's on this farm and none of them have their powers, none of them have their powers. She's permanently stuck as a 9-year-old. She's a middle-aged woman stuck in a 9-year-old's body. So it's not an ideal life for her to live in, especially for 10 years. And it is a good comic. They've reached their 10-year anniversary of being stuck there, and also the anniversary of Black Hammer's death, named after the series. The series is named after, and the first volume follows how their life in the town on the farm, and goes to flashbacks of their origins, how they became superheroes, and then eventually the crisis event that got them stuck here. And it's good. It is a good series. Sometimes maybe the art will put you off. It's a very kind of independent, almost like Dark Horse-esque art style. I mean, it is a Dark Horse series, but it is good. It might take you some time to get used to the art, because it's really like seeing that for the first time is like, is that supposed to be a face? That does not look like a face. This looks like a sultana that turned into a human, essentially. But it is a good series. I definitely recommend. As well, it's not the only one in its series. So we have the main series is Black Hammer, Secret Origins, and then the event that's the first in the main series. This essentially is the introduction to who they are, and then this is the kind of them finding out that there is possibly a way for them to get back as this character, Lucy, if I remember correctly, the daughter of Black Hammer, has been searching for them, and she is able to find them when one of the characters' distress beacons successfully lands back in their hometown. So you have Black Hammer, which is the main series, and then they started to release some spin-offs. So the first off was Sherlock Frankenstein and the Legion of Evil. It's kind of a prequel. It mainly revolves around like the character Lucy trying to prove that her father and the rest of the heroes are still alive. They didn't die. They're just missing, and she believes that one of their former villains, Sherlock Frankenstein, has a clue as to what happened to them, but he is also missing. So she is searching for Sherlock Frankenstein in order to search for the heroes. That's the first of the spin-off. It's you don't really have to. This spin-off, I don't believe you really need to read the series. It does give like a small introduction of what happened. It mentions like the anniversary of the. It starts off with a flashback to them a couple of days after the crisis happened and after the heroes disappeared. So you don't really. It's not really essential that you have to read Black Hammer, but you should read Black Hammer anyway. But it's a nice little spin-off. But the one I definitely have been enjoying is Dr. Star. If you've seen already, I've done a review of the first 3 issues of Dr. Star. This is definitely one where you don't need to read Black Hammer at all to understand. This is unlike this where maybe you need to read Black Hammer, but it's not really recommended. This one you don't need to read Black Hammer at all, as it's its own story about a kind of a golden age hero, like an older hero, as you know, much like how I said, it's pretty much if Lemire did his own version of Amalgam of DC and Marvel. There was their version of like the Justice Society, where like they were the first heroes, and then a couple of new ones arrived, and they were the Justice League, and Dr. Star is kind of the one in the in the kind of the Justice Society, that their equivalent, and it's a kind of deep and sad story of he's essentially kind of a washed up hero. He's nearing the end of his life. He's old, and he's realized, and he's looking back on how much he sacrificed to be a superhero, and now he's regretting all of it, as it has cost him dearly. Do check out my review for that if you want more on that. I go into a little bit more detail on that. Then the next series, whoops, it's upside down. The next series is Black Hammer: Age of Doom, which follows the main story. Again, it is a sequel to Black Hammer, since it ends on a cliffhanger. So this continues it. I don't know how many issues this will be going for. I know there's at least 5 issues that have been announced, like 2 that have been released and another 3 in solicits. So this only just recently started. Doctor Star is only a 4-issue spin-off that will finish next week, actually, I believe. If I'm correct, the last issue is next week, and not sure when Age of Doom will finish. Considering this is still continuing from the main series, it could go for longer. They could go for more than 5 issues. Don't know, probably wrong. Someone fact check me on that. But this is good as well. Definitely a must. And then there is still one more. There's another spin-off that's been confirmed that will be released called The Quantum Age, and that will be set in the future about a group of heroes inspired by the heroes in Black Hammer. And them trying to be superheroes as well. So definitely, if you're not reading Black Hammer, what are you doing with your life? No, it is. If you wanted to branch out to more instead of just the main two, instead of just DC and Marvel, Black Hammer is definitely a recommend. Like, I'm seeing a couple more people get into Black Hammer. I know Yellow Flash did a video about it. Like, I saw his video. He mainly did it about Age of Doom, and I thought, I was going to do a video about Black Hammer. I'll do one anyway. Saying, why aren't you reading Black Hammer? Go ahead and read it, definitely. So yeah. Overall message of the video: read Black Hammer. What are you doing with your life? It is. I cannot keep going on saying how great a series it is. It is. It definitely is. I love a lot of Lemire's work. It's great. Biased, maybe, but I do love a lot of his work, and it is his own kind of project that he's been working on with. I think it was him and Dean Ormston. They wanted to work on it, and then Dean went through some personal stuff. I think maybe some kind of injury or something like that. So it was kind of delayed, but then they finally got around to doing Black Hammer, and it's great. Yes, it's great. I'm going to say it one more time. Why aren't you reading this? Go ahead and read Black Hammer. Any of it. The main series, so like I said, the main series is Volume 1, Volume 2, and then Age of Doom, and then you have the 2 spin-offs, and then another spin-off in July, I believe. July will start the Quantum Age. There was a preview of it in the Free Comic Book Day for the Overwatch Black Hammer Free Comic Book Day. So definitely check Quantum Age out if you are interested in Black Hammer. Or if you're reading Black Hammer anyway, you'll probably most likely get Quantum Age anyway. So that's it for the video. Leave a like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, follow me on Twitter, check out any of my previous videos, especially my Dr. Star one. I'll leave a link to that as well. And I'll see you all next time.